For KBRFradio.com News, I'm Derek Sidian, and this is the weekly news recap, brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonmemorials.com, memorials that matter, and Lilligards, your local Mahindra dealer on Highway 13 West, Wahpeton. A Fergus Falls CEO has been sentenced to 5 years of probation and restitution payments after using company funds to pay off her personal credit cards. In March of 2022, the Fergus Falls Police Department received a report of suspected embezzlement of funds from the Lakes Region Association of Realtors and the Lakes Region Multiple Listing Service. 70-year-old Catherine Vicky Renee Junge was the CEO of both companies for the past 25 years. Due to her retirement, she handed control of the bank accounts to association members who uncovered payments to her personal credit cards. Association members reviewed the charges with officers and determined several categories of purchases that would never have been purchased for any legitimate association use, including things like Hulu and Amazon subscriptions. The purchases started in 2016 and went on until the association members noticed the payments in 2022. The unauthorized purchases and subsequent payments are believed to have caused a combined loss of around $144,000 to each association's bank account. Junge was charged with 4 counts of theft in May 2023. On September 9, 2024, she agreed to plead guilty to 1 count of theft in exchange for the dismissal of the other 3 counts and a lighter sentence. On October 28, Junge was sentenced to pay just under $94,000 in restitution and be placed on probation for 5 years. An ATV and camper are considered a total loss after a fire occurred a few blocks away from Underwood High School this last weekend. A report of a camper on fire next to a garage was received by the Ottertail County Sheriff's Department at around 3:07 Sunday afternoon. When first responders arrived on the scene, they found the front half of a toy hauler camper was fully engulfed in flames. Underwood Fire and Rescue quickly worked to control the fire and put it out. According to officials, it appears that the ATV started the fire after the owner loaded it into the camper. Both the camper and ATV are considered a total loss, and the neighbor's garage received damage to the siding. A Fergus Falls man has been charged with 3 counts of financial exploitation of a vulnerable adult after allegedly taking over $120,000 from a retiree for personal uses. According to the Fergus Falls Police Department, 59-year-old Darren Torgerson received power of attorney for the victim on May 22, 2024. Between May 22 and June 26, Torgerson issued 7 checks to himself and 5 to businesses from the victim's account. Officials spoke with the victim, a 76-year-old man who resides at Pioneer Care in Fergus Falls. He told them that he had not had contact with Torgerson for around a year, and when they read him the list of transactions, he said he did not recognize or authorize any of the purchases. Officials confirmed that the purchases made with the victim's money were not for the benefit of the victim, as the purchases included a lawnmower, a trailer, a 4-wheeler, a Yamaha motor, nets, and tools. Torgerson made his first court appearance on Monday. 48-year-old Alan Shepard was arrested Monday afternoon after claiming that it was his right to cremate his grandmother and obstructing law enforcement. According to court documents, the Fergus Falls Fire and Police Departments responded to a report of someone possibly burning illegal materials in a backyard on Cecil Avenue at around 3:40. When officers arrived on the scene, Shepard appeared upset, and when he saw an officer, he became irate and started yelling at them to get off the property, claiming himself as one of the last chiefs of a Native American tribe and that the officer was a white man trying to steal his land. He also stated that as a Native American, he had the right to cremate his grandmother and was celebrating a Native American cremation ceremony with the fire. The officer noticed plastics in the fire and told Shepard to put the fire out, to which he refused multiple times. The officer then informed Shepard that he was under arrest for obstructing the legal process and to put his hands behind his back. Instead, Shepard lifted his hands and backed away from the officers, making a motion suggestive to punching at one of the officers. They pulled Shepard to the ground as he continued to resist and remain non-compliant with their commands. On the way to the Ottertail County Detention Facility, he kicked and damaged the rear passenger side door, spit on an officer, and banged his head on the door. Multiple types of restraints were used until an officer eventually sat in the back of the squad car and restrained him. Once at the jail, Shepard provided a preliminary breath test and had a blood alcohol content level of 0.228. The officer who had restrained Shepard in the squad car was treated for injuries at Lake Region Hospital related to his resistance. Shepard caused an estimated $1,100 in damage to the squad car. He has been charged with 1 count of obstructing the legal process, 2 counts of 4th-degree assault towards a peace officer, 1 count of criminal damage to property, and 2 misdemeanor charges. If you have experienced delays due to blocked railroad crossings in Fergus, Ottertail County asks you to report these incidents to the Federal Railroad Administration and Canadian Pacific Kansas City. Ottertail County Highway Engineer Kristen Foster says, quote, "According to Minnesota state law, trains are not supposed to block a crossing for more than 10 minutes. These limits are in place to support traffic flow and emergency response times," end quote. The public's reporting is appreciated. For information on how to report these incidents, go to kbrfradio.com. While voting in Ottertail County was winding down on election night, a barn in rural Wadena caught fire. The Ottertail County Sheriff's Department was alerted to the fire at around 5:23 Tuesday afternoon. Responders arrived at the scene in Compton Township and found the barn fully engulfed in flames. There were 10 sheep reported to still be in the barn during the fire. The rest were able to be removed. No one was reported injured. Officials say that the barn is suspected to have caught fire due to an electrical issue. Tuesday was Election Day, and KBRF has the results. In Fergus Falls, Anthony Hicks won the mayoral race with 55.5% of the vote. For City Council Ward 1, Jim Fish won re-election with 42.5%. For Ward 2, Mark Layton claimed victory with just under 45%. Mike Mortensen in Ward 3 won his race with over 61%, and for Ward 4, Laurel Kildee ran unopposed. The 3 candidates that voters chose for the Fergus Falls School Board are Kelly Graff, Stephen Vigasaw, and Jenny Christensen. The Fergus Falls School District faces some tough decisions following the rejection of both referendum questions by voters, with 57.5% saying no to question 1 and over 60% saying no to question 2. Fergus Falls Public School Superintendent Jeff Drake said in a statement, quote, "First, we thank all voters for seeking information and making an informed decision. We are disappointed that we were unable to unify the community behind the needs of our students and our facilities with regards to the referendum questions," end quote. School Board Chair Natalie Knutson believes that now that the election is over, a new chapter for students can begin. Quote, "Despite this disappointing news, we believe there is common ground in supporting the needs of our children. We will build on that common ground, working together with the community to determine the best path forward for our facilities," end quote. District leaders and school board members will begin to discuss next steps, physical space, and education needs, providing updates to the community throughout the process. Moving on to the Ottertail County Commissioner races, in District 3, incumbent Kurt Mortensen was re-elected with 65.5% of the votes. In the hotly contested District 5 race, Sean Sullivan secured victory with just over 51%, and in District 1, Dan Buchholz ran unopposed. You can find all the results for these races and other local city and state races on kbrfradio.com. This has been the Weekly News Recap, brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonmemorials.com, memorials that matter, and Lilligards, your local Mahindra dealer on Highway 13 West, Wahpeton. For kbrfradio.com news, I'm Derek Sidian. Tune in every Friday at 12:30 on kbrfradio.com or on the Fergus Now app to stay up to date with local news. Get more news at kbrfradio.com. Sign up for email news sent right to your inbox, delivered by Cooper's Office Supply.